what's up? Jake Strickland here, and today I'm going to be doing a game review for you guys. I'm going to be reviewing Resident Evil, The Umbrella Chronicles. This is a Resident Evil game that came out in 2007, and it may seem kind of pointless to do a review on a game that's been out since 2007. I mean, a long time ago, 4 years. But I'm a big fan of the series, so why not, you know? Also, I'll be going into detail about the Wii Zapper and how it may make or break the controls in the game itself. So hopefully you guys enjoy it, and just sit back and enjoy the show. The Umbrella Chronicles, which was released on the Wii in 2007, was the newest Resident Evil game since Resident Evil 4, released in 2005 on the GameCube, and soon after released on the Wii, which featured an all-new over-the-shoulder first-person shooter aspect, which appealed to a lot of the fans to the prior Resident Evil games. And instead of fighting zombies, solving puzzles, and constantly backtracking for health and ammunition, this latest Resident Evil game was all about action and moving forward, while fighting your way through big crowds of the new zombies commonly referred to as ganados, and for the first time actually brawling with the undead. Resident Evil 4 was a sign that the series still had potential and wasn't completely dead.
Better try a new trick, cause that one's getting old. Resident Evil, The Umbrella.
The new series continues now with The Umbrella Chronicles, and features the new aspect of first-person rail shooter. This is something I never thought I would see in the Resident Evil series. Ever since the first game came out, Resident Evil has dealt with the third-person camera view, and it works. So as you can imagine, I was pretty concerned when I found out that The Umbrella Chronicles was going to be a first-person rail shooter game. The Umbrella Chronicles covers the stories of Zero, Remake, Nemesis, and a new story, Umbrella's End. It also fills you in on the plot holes of the original story that you missed. With that said, when it comes to visuals, the game's in-game and cinematic graphics were definitely improved. When I first played the game, I was both amused and disappointed, however, with the dumb dialogue and casual conversation during the actual gameplay. This has a negative effect on the suspense of the game. I mean, what's so scary about a co-op Resident Evil game when your characters are constantly making chit-chat? They might as well be talking about politics or asking each other about their personal life problems. Also, some of the voices of the characters were ridiculously off, and a perfect example would be Rebecca Chambers. Granted, she is only 18, the youngest member of Bravo. But did they have to make her sound like a 12-year-old little girl? For God's sake, Sherry sounds older than her, and it kinda even hurts your ears to listen to her.
So I'm guessing you need a bodyguard, right?
No. Do you?
But she is not the only one whose vocals are screwed up. Even the bosses sound the same. Every boss gives out the same stressful cry of a zombie who's been shot. Now when it comes to boss fights, they were pretty epic at times. But since it's a rail shooter, there's no thrill of actually conquering a boss without taking any damage unless you spray just about all of your ammunition into them to keep them from getting too close. And speaking of boss battles, Nemesis was one of my favorite games in the series. The bioweapon Nemesis himself was the main boss of that game, and was probably the hardest boss in the series if you think about it. In the Umbrella Chronicles, however, he is made out to be a slow pussy bitch with the IQ of a brick, and he doesn't even run after you like he does in the original either. It's almost as if he's sleepwalking and at times wakes up screaming the word stars, like he's had a nightmare.
Be careful!
Moving on, as far as the gameplay goes, it's not really all that bad, but you can tell that they didn't configure the controls of the Wii Remote to go along with the Wii Zapper. And if you attempt to play with the Wii Zapper, you'll find yourself in an awkward situation during dodge sequences, boss battles, reloading, and using a knife. I think the best and most enjoyable part about playing this game was probably the bonus level, Umbrella's End, which branches off into even more story and leaving you with more questions in the end. It's just like Capcom to present you with a game like this and leave you hanging in the end.
Soon, Umbrella will be gone forever. They held the power of the T-virus in their hands, but they lacked the proper vision.
With all that said in mind, I enjoyed the game on certain levels, but I find myself not wanting to endure the slow, boring, and repetitive gameplay and story once again. At least with the originals, you could alter the story with the paths that you choose, but it's a rail shooter with a predetermined path. The game does give you more storyline and fills you in about parts of the original story that you've missed, and I think it's pretty neat how much you found out about Wesker, how he's been manipulating the scenes from behind the whole time. This game wasn't the best Resident Evil game I've played, and after playing it through the campaign, I've come to the realization that the game doesn't really have much replay value at all. Granted, it does offer difficulties to make the game harder, like easy, normal, and hard, but what game doesn't? There's really nothing special about this game, and it definitely wasn't my favorite. When I played this game, I didn't feel like I was that involved either. I've seen what Capcom can do, and to me, this game really wasn't all that special. Therefore, I would have to give it a 3 out of 5.
Resident